Hey guys, and welcome to episode 2 of season 1 of the Geeks and Gamers podcast. This week we've got a cram-packed show full of different bits. Basically, this week we are going to be doing a few TV things. Dan's disappeared on us again.
Is he?
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh.
Bye, Dan. Cheers for popping in. It's been emotional. Never wanted to hear your points anyway. We're going to do some TV-related stuff and also some gaming-related stuff this week. So, first off, we are going to kick off without Dan. He'll jump in later, probably not knowing anything that's happening. It'll be quite funny. So, we'll carry on.
He's
And,
back.
he's back. No, he's not. He's connecting.
Oh, okay.
I have to do some serious editing of this later. So anyway, first off, this week we're going to talk about Star Wars Battlefront. We spoke a bit about the new Star Wars film last week. So this week we only feel it right to do the gaming side of it and go with Star Wars Battlefront. Now, at this point, I'd ask Dan to take over, but as soon as he's still connecting, I'm going to throw it over to Paul.
Oh, sure. The one person probably in the group that's not either buying the game or looking forward to the
You're
game.
not buying the game?
No.
Okay, then, get your
Oh,
point out.
I don't know much about it. I've never been that big a fan of the Star Wars games.
Lego Star Wars.
No. I'll just say
That counts more as Lego.
those Lego Star Wars games are a pain in the feckin' arse. Sorry for swearing, but they are. They've got the most mundane achievements
love
to
them.
try and get.
I
You've
love
not
them.
completed one of them. They're that
That's
bad.
because one of them has achievements in it that means that you can't die during a level, and it's very, very difficult in the flying ones.
Why is Dan calling me again?
Oh, yeah, Dan is in here, apparently.
Right, Steph, you have your point on Battlefront because you're clearly going to be buying.
Battlefront. I pre-ordered it. I mean, I'm slightly disappointed there's no campaign.
There is going to be a campaign.
Yeah, but not
A
something
co-op
like a
campaign.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
No,
it's
you
not-
can
I mean-
play the campaign with bots.
Yeah, but that's just boring. Like a single player. I'm just gonna shoot crap. But no, I'm looking forward to it. Right, I haven't had the chance to play a Battlefront game before, so this is gonna be my first one. I've watched trailers on it, and it looks pretty good. Read reviews, and I think it's gonna be hard to be disappointed with it. But my worry is it is gonna be overhyped for what it is. Like, to me, it's just gonna be like another shooter, but with Star Wars.
So what they did to Destiny then?
But no, yeah, I think it's going to be a bit hyped up by some Star Wars fans. But I think I've read somewhere that people are referring it to as similar to Battlefield in some mechanics. I've not played Battlefield, so I don't know how true that is. But no, I'm looking forward to it.
Despite not being a fan of Star Wars, the film itself, or the film series, apologies, I played the original Battlefront back in 2004 or 5 when it was released. I actually quite enjoyed the game, despite not being a fan of the overarching story that accompanied it. I actually think the trailer for the new one looks pretty phenomenal, and although we've not seen, I don't know if I've seen gameplay or not yet. Is it gameplay or is it just cinematics?
It looks cinematic.
Cinematics.
If the cinematics are representative in any way of what the gameplay is going to look like, then it's going to be properly revolutionary. I think it's the first game that's going to be released that's using Adobe Atmos as its sort of driving engine, which I've been kind of geek mode. I researched it the other week, and it looks really quite exciting, actually. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, but
Okay.
the problem with trailers and the actual game, I always found they tend to put the trailers as like higher spec than the actual game's going to be.
Yeah, a big
But-
one for that was Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
So like sorry.
I was going to say when they actually showed the trailer for it, it was running really really sweet, and then when the actual game got released, it was like a dubbed down version, which quite a lot of people were disappointed in. But I quite enjoyed Watch Dogs, to be honest. I wasn't expecting too much from it. A lot of people went in there going, "Oh, it's going to be GTA with hacking," but it really wasn't. It was a completely different game. I don't see why people bitch about it, but
I really liked Watch Dogs.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah, Watch Dogs was really enjoyable. I can't say much about.
Didn't you
Battlefront.
describe it as being like Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
with...
No,
no?
I said I felt it was like GTA with a mobile phone.
Oh, okay.
I thought Watch Dogs was going to be GTA with hacking.
I'm ashamed.
What? I wanted to like rob a car, but no,
It ain't
I got confused
with
in like the
hacking.
first mission.
So okay, guys, explain then how it's not GTA with hacking.
guys. Are we gonna do a topic on Watch Dogs now?
GTA, they encourage you to kill pedestrians. Watch Dogs, they don't encourage you, because if you do, you get severe penalties.
But you get
Watch Dogs.
penalties in GTA as well.
Watch Dogs kind of reminded me a bit more of a cross between something like GTA and Deus Ex, where you're required to combine that stealth component with a wide-ranging map. There's not quite the encouragement of violence in something like Watch Dogs that you'd find in GTA.
Ah, right, okay. No, that's fair enough. There was still quite a bit of violence.
But I think with Battlefront, like, it looks shiny, and I'm a bit worried, like, on release it is going to be, like, not as shiny as people are expecting it, like, graphics-wise.
I think
I love how you subtly brought us back
Change
on
the
track
topic
there.
very quickly, I know.
That was very good.
Because I'm very tired. But I think it is going to be one of those games that will get really big, you know, it's going to get a lot of hype, and on release it's going to plummet, and I really hope it doesn't. But like those who played the original Battlefronts and all, I think, you know, they're going to hype it up as well, and yeah, it might be good, well, it might plummet, so I'm like 50-50 with it, but I'm still getting it, and to try it out, because my friends get it as well.
Is there any beta releases coming out?
I think
I
there
don't
is, you
know.
know. I think there is. I think there's I think what they're going to do is they're going to release, you know, like they do with Battlefield, where they give you sort of a week open beta. I think they will release something like that, you know, where you get maybe one map, a couple of the classes, that sort of jazz, and go from there. Because I think a lot of companies are going that way. I mean, a lot of them obviously hold closed betas. They keep the server loads down, stuff like obviously Neverwinter. I played the closed beta for that and thought I was quite good. But I think an open beta is probably the way that companies should test, because then they can stress test the servers. So
I actually played the alpha of Old Republic.
nice.
Old Republic. Yeah, and I was like, I really want this game, but laptop can't run it, so I'm gonna get a gaming PC now.
Without going into full-on geek mode, I think part of the stuff that I do for work is like 3D graphical physical modelling of landscapes. And they've said that for the likes of Battlefront, they're going to be doing a lot of physical rendering, and actually, so they're taking actual existing landscapes and using that to underpin a lot of the graphics that they're creating. So I think in terms of how it looks, it's going to be pretty spectacular.
That was carry on, mate.
It just depends on whether the gameplay sort of ties up to that. And if the gameplay mirrors some of the older Battlefronts, I think the hype is justified, and I think that's someone that really is not a Star Wars fan.
I mean, that is obviously going on about your physical rendering and stuff. That was something that they mentioned, however many months ago it was, when everyone was hyping up DirectX 12. And they were saying, you know, that could help basically with that, apparently. You know, I don't know a lot on that side of things. What I do know is obviously Microsoft is slowly unlocking cores to the processor properly, which will help, definitely. And they are starting to give companies more of a backing and actually teaching them how to use their system to get the best out of it. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it, and I do hope it isn't one that falls off the hype wagon, because I'll be bitterly disappointed, because obviously being a Star Wars fan and stuff like that, and I enjoy Battlefield. Granted, I don't play as much as I used to, but at the minute I'm struggling to play anything. You know, I can't find anything at the minute that I really want to play.
So when's
I've got lots I
Battlefield
want
due
to
to come out?
It is
Battlefield or Battlefront?
Battlefront is due out. Is it November the 17th?
November, but I think it was planned for June, according to my Amazon pre-order. It was June, but it is November I thought it was the 12th.
I thought it was the 17th. It's November time.
17th.
17th.
Can I give my 2 cents now? Because my internet keeps fucking up, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, sure.
There's another bleep I'm going to have to put in.
You could always just remove that whole bit.
That's true, yeah. Now, go on, count down. Far away before your internet drops out again.
So there's
So anyway,
three
did you
things
hear
I'm
about...
really...
Now, carry on.
Oh. There are 3 things I'm most looking forward to from Battlefront.
The suspense is killing me.
Hello, Dad. Are you there?
Daddy
He's gonna get-
boy.
He's probably still chatting
I
away.
don't think-
Well, number one, he's
Podcast
gone.
The podcast does want to hear Dad.
Eleanor's.
I think what we do is one topics, and we just like get Dan to record him when his internet's more stable. Just add Dan's bits in.
Luke, you're gonna edit this whole bit out.
I don't know, I think it's great.
Keep the blooper. That's a blooper reel. Eleanor just wetting herself laughing.
Oh, I'm keeping that video.
Oh, is he
I'm
back?
gonna fucking kill my brother.
Maybe bleep that, but keep it in.
Carry on, Dan.
Yes.
Number one.
Number one. Why do you want Battlefront?
You want me to go back to the beginning?
No,
Well,
just
when you
number
only
one.
heard
Number one.
number one.
Shit.
You're still here.
I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I can't wait for Battlefront because you play.
Dan has left the building.
Does he need a drum
I'm
roll
here.
introduction? Is that it?
Right, Dan, let's go.
Is Eleanor throwing you off?
Mute
No,
yourself, Eleanor. Carry on, Dan.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry I didn't give my 2 cents earlier. My internet was sorry. Okay, I won't swear because Luke will tell me off screwing up.
Bravo.
And the
Go,
reason
go,
for that
Dan.
is because I'm a really big Star Wars fan. I really can't wait to play as the heroes such as Darth Vader and Boba Fett. I can't wait to drive the damn AT-AT. And also, the partner system is really intriguing me.
Which partner system?
Basically, earlier today, they announced a system where when you play multiplayer with your friends and they are at a much lower level than you with, not unlocked content, etc., you can basically set it so they can share your equipment they can share equipment with you, and you can all be even. It basically evens out the playing field and makes it easier for you to play with your mates.
Alright, so rather than doing it as a sort of phased areas, they'll actually allow you to co-op with proper gear where you're not essentially getting held back, but can still play with your friends if you're
Yeah,
shooting on
exactly.
That's
Okay.
good.
Does this not fall back to something there that we mentioned the other week? Obviously, when I think it was when we were on about COD, where we were on about all weapons should be unlockable whenever you want.
Oh, to the buying of
Yeah.
them with cash.
Yeah, that
instead
sort
of
of thing.
Level.
Would that not make more sense in a game? I mean, I understand obviously it gives you something to aim for, but let's be honest. If people are going to aim to go to the top level, they're going to aim to go to the top level. It doesn't matter when the guns are released to them.
Yeah.
So, fact of the matter is, why not have a level playing field at the beginning? And then,
Multiplayer or just single player?
I would get bored if I didn't have anything to get along the way.
Yeah, but I think it's nice. Like, if you've got a friend who can game all the time, and you can't, it'll be, and then you got like the disadvantage of like
Oh yeah, in that
not being able
respect,
to play with them. So I
Yeah.
think like being able to still play with your friends, and being able to share weapons. I think that's like a really good aspect.
but maybe
'Cause
not
you-
as a permanent unlock sort of thing. Just
Well, I
when
think
your
not-
friends
No.
are like,
I think if
No,
it's just
you
with
have
your
to be
friends,
with your friends.
yeah.
yeah. So I think that that's fair enough. And then when you play by yourself, then that's when you can start building up your
Yeah.
own guns.
Yeah, it's a good idea to put into it. It allows I think what they're trying to go for is allow everybody to play on multiplayer because that's where everybody kind of wants to sit. They don't want to just sit single player as much anymore for the majority. There's still those hardcore fans that want to just, I want to sit here, play, I don't even want to be connected to the internet kind of playing. But that can be another topic for discussion on another week. Whether or not we should have the ability to play games offline.
well, you do
Yeah, it's called
technically.
when Xbox Live doesn't connect.
You can play offline on the new systems.
I tried a bit of that with a couple of games, and it was really struggling because to log in to get achievements and things like that, you have to be online.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
there is
it's
something
technically,
that
but the
360.
achievements will pop up once you log back in online.
True.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, like, for example, on the 360, they pop up for you anyway.
Yeah,
As you
I
get
think
them.
I know where you come with this one because obviously I enjoyed the achievement pop-in malarkey. So, it's I think what they've done is they tried to do it to prevent cheating because a lot of people actually boosted their game scores on the last one. You could basically just download your profile onto a certain system on your computer and it would ping all your achievements to a certain game. Hands up, I did it with one of my profiles and unlocked about 300,000 G in about 5 seconds.
Luke, you naughty boy.
Yeah, it was one of my old ones. I didn't really use it.
My younger brother did that and got banned for life from Xbox Live.
Well, that's just unfortunate.
How do you get banned for life? Because you could just create a new.
No, he did use it. He had to get a new gamer tag to start again. But I was like, that's what you get for cheating.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. With me, when they found out that I'd done it, they reset me back to 0G anyway. So it wouldn't have made a difference if I, went on a new gamer tag or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think one of his friends did it, and he was stuck at 0G. He couldn't earn anymore, and then his like, he had that pro or whatever. It got like cheater written on it or something.
All right.
So
What do you guys think of the attack being on rails
For what?
in Battlefront?
But no.
When you say it's on rails, you mean you can't just freely move it around?
You can drive it, but it can only go forward.
Well, that's not really driving it, then, is it?
Well, I
like driving a
suppose
train.
more like controlling the
Dan's cutting out again.
the guns on the attack.
See, I'd rather have it if you're not going to go for. Sorry, I had a coughing fit. Yeah, if you're not going to go for the full movement and momentum of a vehicle, then they should make it more like, for example, obviously with Battlefield when you had the AC-130 hovering above, you just use the guns. That's how they should make it. Make it one of those things that you can call in and then your squad can jump in it.
Yeah.
Rather than something that can only go forwards and backwards.
Well, I think that's what the gunships are going to be for in the game.
Well, then that's the way they should keep it. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed now you've told me that. I think I might boycott the game.
Snatch your dreams.
That's it. I'm sorry, Dice. You've lost me. I'm out.
What's point number 2 then, Dan?
I said that earlier.
3?
Right, so
Three
Knox
was
got anything to like sort of add into this?
Dan's third point.
That was the partner thing.
Alright.
Right, so in general, as a general consensus, are we all looking forward to the game, apart from Paul?
Yes.
Well,
No,
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
I would have to say, after what you have told me about it now, I'm interested. I would have to take a look at the beta.
I'm indifferent personally. Then I'm particular about my games.
Right, so in general then, we'll go for 3, 4... Yeah, 4, 4. One's on the fence, and the other one doesn't care.
Pretty much.
Awesome. Right, so we'll wrap that up.
Hi guys, so Paul here taking over for next topic of the week, and this is discussion about the sort of television rights that we've got for some of our favourite programmes that are out at the moment, things like Flash, Arrow, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, and the different release dates between US and UK and whether or not they should be more amalgamated so that we get them at the same time so we don't break out into spoilers.
Accidental spoiler.
Yes, thank you, Steph, for this week.
Spoiler alert.
So I will pass that to
Nasty
you, Steph.
experience and spoilers.
Pass it to
earlier.
me.
Yep.
Basically, I was trying to catch up with Flash. Who's echoing? Someone's got echo. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Hello. Yeah, Dan, you're echoing a bit, mate.
Bollocks.
Just mute yourself for now. Right. Anyhow, yes. I do think that TV shows should run in parallel with America and the UK, because accidental spoilers can happen when you're doing catch up on a TV series, as Paul experienced yesterday with a minor spoiler in Flash. But
Luckily, it was very minor.
very, very minor. But I do think they should run in parallel. To me, it doesn't make sense because it's like you're playing a game when you're on social media, like Twitter and Facebook, where you're trying to avoid spoilers because your American friends have watched the show, and then you're like, well, I can only watch it tomorrow night, and and you're bound to see at least one idiot posting a spoiler, like a major spoiler, up on Facebook, and that could be in like groups or on statuses and so forth. And I don't think that's really fair. And then or it could be a news article, like one of those bloody ads Facebook has, which has the spoiler right in the middle of it. So, on that, for a spoiler avoidance, I think they should run parallel.
What would you have as a sort of cut-off point then in terms of obviously I sent you a link through the week on this expiry date thing.
For me, spoilers, if something's been out for a year, that after a year of release, then it should. I think that's when you can post a spoiler. But if it's anything under a year, I don't think that's acceptable.
So here's a scenario for you. Obviously, last week we discussed the new Star Wars trailer that's come out, and the fact that for some people, especially the younger generation, this will be their first ever experience of Star Wars. They'll never have known the older scenarios. So we take for granted, for example, things like certain relationships that occur within the films. I'm not going to spoil anything here, even though some of them are quite culturally famous. But they might not know some of those relationships and will want to watch these films before they get to the new one. So within this year thing, you kind of take for granted that people are constantly watching things, constantly have that ability to watch things either live or as live.
No, to me that's not really what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, you can't get angry at someone posting a spoiler if it's been out for over a year. Yeah, you can be like, oh, for God's sake, but to me it's more socially acceptable rather than, like, imagine me, like, watching Age of Ultron, like, tomorrow. Imagine me posting a spoiler on my Facebook tomorrow, after I've watched it.
Yeah,
To me, that's not acceptable. I know, like you're saying with what is it, like, not people might not have watched it, but it's more like, for me, you can't get angry at someone if they post it if it's been out for over a year. Otherwise, it'd be a struggle. Like in video game devs, you can't really talk about that because it's like a major thing in a game, and it's a bit like, for me, like, it feels like you can't talk about everything on a game. But I mean, I'm not one of these idiots. If I'm gonna post like a spoiler the next day, I would put like a spoiler alert on.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I've just started watching Arrow with my wife. We never kind of caught it when it came around the first time. It came out in 2012 for the first time. So between then and now, I've finished a PhD, got married, moved to the other end of the country, started a new job. I haven't really had the time to be sitting down and watching it. So just now I'm starting to get into it, and I'm having to frantically avoid the stuff online. You're right, I don't get annoyed at people discussing it online because it has been out for a while. They have watched it, and you do need an avenue to discuss it. So I agree with that. But it's still frustrating.
See, I'm going to have to disagree slightly. Sorry, say that bit again. I have to disagree slightly because I think a year's too big a gap. Because if you go at a film perspective, right, instead of TV or games, within a year, you're going to have had, obviously, the film's going to have been out in cinema 2-3 months like they normally run, and then 2-3 months later they come out on Blu-ray, DVD. So, would a more socially acceptable 6 months be a better one to go for?
Scott.
Sorry, guys.
Right, carry on, I'll keep it in.
The reason why I say a year is because, like, there's some movies I didn't even know came to DVD until I've gone to the shops. But
we
that's
had
why
that
I'm saying
happen to us the other day.
But I do think 6 months is fair play. But for me, I'm more comfortable with the year because it's likely to upset less people.
Well, that's the thing as well. I think part of it is it depends whereabouts you post it. Obviously, a lot of people use social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And obviously, I've had, as I update the page, I've had rollickings. I say rollickings. I've had people complain to me about spoilers. Obviously, I went to see Age of Ultron the other night. You guys haven't seen it, and I'm biting my lip about it. I mean, when me and my partner were talking the other day, she turned around and said, "Are you glad you went to see it?" I said, "I am, but I've got no one to talk to about it."
Yeah, you've got that whole point. That whole
Guys,
point
I had an experience with spoilers myself the other day that really. So I went into one of the fan groups on Facebook, and this arsehole decided to post a massive spoiler for Age of Ultron, and he smugly said, "Oh, I'm sorry that it didn't come out for you earlier. Whoopsie." I won't say the spoiler, but it fucking pissed me off now because it's ruined it.
Well, not really. You're still going to go see it, and you're going to get the experience of watching it. It's not like them turn around and going, it's the whole plotline. You kind of get what the plotline is from the film.
To be fair, one thing I will say is the plot in the story is very, very fast paced. And I've told all you guys that's without, giving away any spoilers. The film could have easily been split in two and the story made better. But it is still a very good film, and it's definitely worth a watch.
Well, I think Paul's like me, and he does read spoilers.
Yeah.
Am I right saying that? Yeah. And it's like certain things I won't want spoiled, and then other things Paul will refuse, or Luke will refuse to tell me about certain things I want them spoiled. But it's
Yeah,
It's
like the
because-
fact that Cisco set off that big wormhole.
Yeah, and
Yes.
created a cake.
Yeah,
yeah.
the cake's
But no,
alive.
but like to me, like I mean, I can watch a film, read
I
what's
outgeeked
happened
Paul
at
on
the
that, by
end.
the way, the other day, just so you know.
No, it's like I can watch a film, read the spoilers, and still enjoy the film. You know, it's
I hate spoilers. It ruins the experience for me.
there's some things I don't want to have spoilers for, and there's other things I'm not fussed with.
This one was massive. I mean, it really something big.
How big are we talking, Dan? Obviously, you don't say to. Obviously, I've seen it, so you know, whereas the others haven't. But you know, what are we talking?
Oh,
It's-
you know how they were saying, oh, we know they were, you know how Marvel kept saying, oh, who's going to survive and which Avenger is going to die. Well, this prick put in which Avenger dies. So
Wait a
I'm not
minute,
happy
that's a
about that.
spoiler in itself. There's an Avenger that dies?
No,
Ellen, I didn't know
Marvel.
or
I
is
didn't
there?
know. There should have been a spoiler alert there. Oh no.
Or is there?
I'm devastated.
That's all I'm saying. Or is there?
that. Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about, Luke, because I think I know what actually happens, because I read a few things a while ago.
I'll talk to you about it afterwards, Paul.
I don't want to kind
I
of...
won't tell you thingy.
Yeah.
You know, but I'd like to hear what your thoughts are, sort of thing. But you know, we'll discuss that out of podcast.
Yeah, that's fair for everybody.
I'm sorry, Eleanor.
And I'll
Don't worry, I'm just pulling your leg.
Oh,
and I'll find out from you, Dan, if you actually do know the truth about, you know,
okay.
said spoiler, if he did actually give you a truthful answer or not, because there's many twists and turns in that film, mate. So you'll be
All right,
surprised.
okay.
Anyway, going back to the topic at hand, discussing the rights between
Oh yeah,
U-
that's what
UK.
we started with.
Yeah, between UK and US. One thing I will mention that does stick out in my head is The Walking Dead. Now, I'm going to put this in here. Spoiler alert! Right? Everyone should have seen this episode by now, but I believe it was the midpoint, the mid-season finale, right, when Beth dies.
Oh,
Yes,
That was so sad.
right?
That
That-
was upsetting.
That was actually before us in the UK had chance to watch the episode, was plastered all over the Walking Dead Facebook page. All
Yeah, I
over it,
know.
and that was
They're
actually
terrible
released
for that.
by AMC, and they did remove it and you know had a bit.
But it was
had-
too late by that point.
Exactly.
Everybody had seen exactly
Everyone
what
had
happened.
seen it and shared it, and it had gone viral. So you know it's pointless. But I think there has to be a limit, especially with things like TV shows. Obviously, I got moaned at because on the Facebook page I constantly update it with Arrow and Flash stuff.
Yeah, but there was no bloody spoiler on there. It was a link to a video which you didn't have to watch.
Exactly. But
I actually had a similar experience with the finale of season 8 of Doctor Who last year, where the BBC blabbed it all over their page.
I haven't watched Doctor
A few
Who
minutes
since.
before it even came out. We don't know why. Well, I'll just give you a hint. You know,
Big spoiler.
Let Luke finish his
uh,
point quickly.
Yeah, well, my point's practically finished. I mean, all I'm saying is, I
Right.
think, obviously, it goes back to that socially acceptable time. I mean, I think with a TV series, it's slightly different. I think they have different dates, obviously, releasing it. I think normally it's the US, and then we get it, and then obviously it airs in other countries at either the same time we have it or slightly later. So there's got to be a point with a TV series where you can go, okay, well, that episode's aired, you know, then we can post this about it, you know, because it's just like no different to posting trailers for next week's episode.
Because that's potentially a spoiler.
Exactly.
Talk about those trailers. I need to watch the new Arrow now. The new episode out next week. I
Yeah,
need
it looks
now.
brilliant.
I need it
Absolutely amazing.
now.
Gonna take my headphones off again.
No, we
we're not
won't go
saying
any further.
anything. No, we won't go any further. It's good.
But
Carry
yeah,
on
that's
watching Arrow.
basically my point. I think each genre has a different thing. Like a film, maybe 6 months.
TV
Yeah.
a week or so.
TV, yeah, a week. I mean, it depends how far behind are we in the UK to the US on things like Flash and Arrow. Are we about?
Day.
Are we only like a day behind now? Because at one
Yeah,
point it was
same
like
with
2
Game
weeks.
of Thrones
Well,
and The Walking Dead as well.
I think
it
it's
was only a day.
released Tuesday, Wednesday in America, and Wednesday, Thursday
The
in
Flash
the
is
UK.
a week behind, whereas Arrow's only a day behind.
Oh, it's Flash a week. Oh,
So
Yeah.
yeah, something like a week, because I know The Walking Dead, it airs on the Sunday night over in America, and then it's the Monday night here. So something like a week is a socially acceptable time for people who have recorded it on their Sky Plus boxes or whatever. You know, that's a socially acceptable time before they can start posting spoilers.
Well,
is
to me,
about a week.
it's like, if they released it at the same time, it would stop people legally streaming.
Well, that's what. Well, one of the biggest illegal streaming shows at the moment is Game of Thrones. So,
Yeah.
Sky Atlantic have managed to produce a deal where they show it at the exact same time as it gets launched in the USA.
Yeah.
And then it goes straight onto Sky Go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but to me, that's like a major stop illegal streaming, is
Yeah.
release it at the same time.
But then it also stops the whole spoiler thing technically happening.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's at 2 o'clock in the morning that it gets shown in the UK. Yeah, if you want to really catch up and make sure you don't get any spoilers, watch it that morning. But
It also stops people maliciously posting spoilers because they know that other people don't have it. If that
Yeah.
makes sense, because some people out there will post spoilers specifically to ruin the experience for other people.
Yeah.
Like the dickhead who did it to me.
Exactly. It's always about you, Dan.
This is the Dan show.
Yeah, obviously. You know, keeps jumping in and out. But yeah.
Oh, that
I
reminded
think-
me so much of Celebrity Big Brother there, just for a minute.
But yeah, I think I know. Going back to obviously the topic again, there was, or there is going to be a law here in the UK introduced where obviously at the minute if you're caught pirating stuff, you get a fine, you get this, you can face prison time, etc. And they're on about changing that now. I don't know whether it's already come in because I haven't really kept up with it since I last heard about it about 6 months ago. Where instead of fining you or possibly sending you to prison for streaming or downloading said episode or film, they are now going to make it so that companies can send you up to 3 letters a year. Your network provider can send you up to 3 letters a year, basically stating where you could find the stuff legally and alternatives. They won't actually press any charges against you.
Oh,
I
that's a good
heard
idea.
something different. I think last month, Sky, there was a movie that got leaked, and was it the film company made Sky give up everyone's IP addresses who's downloaded it, and like sending out fines and stuff.
Yeah, like I said,
Serious?
it might be something that hasn't come in yet,
Yeah.
but they were on about doing it. It's
I think that's
something.
a better idea.
It's
Are they
it's
even
one of those
allowed
things-
to release IPs?
They are
Yes, they
under
are.
if it's an illegal action.
If
Yes.
if it breaks copyright law, yes.
But one thing I will say is, I suppose as well, it does depend on the law of which country the claim is from.
Yeah.
You know, it's like obviously in the news at the minute. I don't know if any of you guys have caught it, but that guy who crashed the stock market a few years ago in America is obviously being expedited over there to be,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
to be trialed over there, which I would imagine would probably work the same with downloading films, TV, etc., and so forth.
One thing I might add, actually, just before we disappear, we kind of focused a lot of this on current, up-to-date TV series. At the minute, as I mentioned, I don't watch much live TV at the minute, so a lot of what I do is kind of binge catch-up type stuff. So at the moment, I've been religiously watching Blue Bloods, like it or love it. I'm addicted at the moment. Sky are currently in the middle of showing season 5, but their box sets, despite the fact that they have the rights to show it live, they don't carry the rights to show the box sets going back to season 1. So I think if these providers, be it Sky, Virgin, BT, whoever, are going to have the rights to be able to show the live, most up-to-date series, they should also have an avenue for people to be able to catch the previous volumes and episodes as well. Otherwise, those are going to be pretty big targets for illegal streaming too.
Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah, you've got a perfect point there.
Spot on.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. So we'll call that one, I think, unless anyone else has got anything.
No.
No? Good,
I'm
right.
good.
Hi, this is Scott. I'm introducing this section on behalf of Eleanor, who raised this as a sort of good topic earlier on in the week, discussing the perhaps underappreciated avenues of music that we find in some of the stuff that we listen to. So a couple of months ago, Classic FM did a particularly good piece that discussed the quality that you might find in video games, for example. A lot of the scores that we get in movies and computer games and TV series, they are really our contemporary versions of classical music. You think of names such as John Williams, Hans Zimmer, some of the stuff they produce can often be kind of looked down upon because it's popularized in TV and film or whatever. And this is perhaps given some credit and recognition to some of those bits of music that we hear on a daily basis and have come to grow and love for whatever reason. So we're going to discuss some of our favourite TV theme tunes, film theme tunes, or game theme tunes. And now I'm passing it over to Eleanor, like at Arlumpit.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead and give you an idea of what my favourite example is from each genre. So I'm echoing an awful lot here.
I'll go.
Okay, so film. One song that is one piece of music that has always been high in my mind is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves theme tune. I loved it. It was one of those bits of music that you always think, oh yes, and then Disney got hold of it and they use it to introduce their trailers for their films, or at the start of just before the film starts. And I think it's a fantastic piece of music. If you've not heard it, or you're not familiar with it, or you can't quite remember, go and look it up, because I love that piece of music. It's fantastic. I can't remember who composed it, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it. When it comes to TV, this may be a bit of a one that people may grumble about, but I like the theme tune to One Tree Hill. See, I'm already getting laughs. I'll say no more on that. I just think it's good. But when it comes to games, I've got a bit of a random one here, but my favourite game piece of music is the Fisherman's Horizon theme from Final Fantasy VIII. I love it. I think it's so different to the rest of their music within that game and within the rest of the game franchise. It's so relaxing, it's so nice, and it's just, yeah, I really like it.
It was Michael Kamen, by the way, who orchestrated and composed Prince of Thieves soundtrack.
Oh, perfect. I'm glad we got that in there.
When I heard you say that, though, I automatically jumped to Bryan Adams' Everything I Do, and I started to get chills.
That's just
no, I
that's
mean the
nine for you,
introductory bit
Scott.
with the horses, because
Yeah,
it just reminds you of the horses.
Okay, go on then. I'll jump next. Right, starting on the film front, I'm going to go completely out there because it's not one piece of music, but it is actually something I've listened to today while I went and trimmed the front yard. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix Volume 1 album. I think that's absolutely fantastic. It's a great collection of songs, and if you've not seen the film, you should see it, because yeah, it's ace. But in all fairness, Rocket does make the film. Secondly, going on to TV. Now, TV, I can probably, if it's a good TV series, I can get quite into the music. I mean, I quite like the Flash music at the minute, when they roll the credits. That's quite cool, quite upbeat. But if there's one piece of music from a TV series that sticks with me, right, it's Placebo, and they did a cover of Running Up That Hill. And I actually first heard it when I watched Warehouse 13, and it's when they had an agent come in, and he'd been in for about, sort of 3/4 of a season, and they find him dead when he'd gone undercover. And it was just because you get to know the character and stuff like that. It was actually quite an emotional scene. And that song, every time I hear that song, it reminds me of that scene. If you haven't watched Warehouse 13, you should. It's great.
Yeah, it's really good.
Very, very good series. Now, game-wise, the one that will always stick with me has to be, and I bet somebody else has probably picked this as well. Well, I've got two. The opening score to Skyrim.
Oh yes,
it's fantastic when you sit on the menu and you can hear the chanting and that sort of jazz. That's great.
Love it.
That is sexy.
And
One of the guys in my work always goes on about that piece of music. It's great.
And then the second piece that always sticks with me is, because I'm a massive Gears fan, is the bit, spoiler alert, where Dom dies in Gears of War 3, and they have what's the name of the song? See, that's how much it sticks with me. Mad World. They have Mad World playing while he's basically going suicidal charge head on into Lambent Locust.
I haven't played Gears, but I've read about it and I had a lump in my throat.
But yeah, that's a very emotional scene. After it all went down, I was like, no! But that I'd say they're probably the the 3 to 4 pieces of music that actually really stick with me. So
When you say
Who's
the Mad World song, do you mean the it's a very, very
yes,
mad... That one, yeah.
that one.
I'm so out of tune there.
Like Jules or Tears for Fears.
I think they used the Gary Jules version.
The Gary Jules one's more depressing.
That's basically what it was. Obviously,
Okay.
if you haven't played the games, you won't know. But Dom was suffering with depression from Gears 2 after he had to kill his own wife. Spoiler alert!
Well, you
sorry,
can't say it
but
afterwards. You gave it away there.
I can, because I can chop it and cut it in at the beginning. But yeah, no, that's sort of the thing. And then obviously when that happens, and actually there is also an Easter egg in the same game where if you play the, I can't remember what the map's called. Well, if you know the Gears games, then you'll know it. But basically, it's like Ash people. And if you play a whole round without anyone knocking an Ash person over, the music plays in the background. That song actually plays in the background.
With me, like music-wise, I think film-wise, it's quite difficult, but I would have to go for Star Wars because I have played it and it is like the Imperial March is extremely fun to play, and so it's the Star Wars theme, and it's challenging, and it's actually quite like a nice piece of music to listen to.
It's really
And I can wear
powerful as well.
Yeah, the thing is, I can wear my Sith robe at a concert, so I'm not complaining much when we play the Imperial March. But no, it is like when we played it, I was like in the percussion section, and there's so much to do in percussion, and it's just great fun playing it, and like the audience like recognise the tune and all that. TV show wise, I'm gonna put out there, but it's gonna be Power Rangers.
Oh Jesus!
That is like
That
I
is
don't know,
brilliant.
that is something I remember as a kid, and it's like stuck with me for life. You know, I would never forget it. And game wise, there's 2 games that really stick out from, well, 3 really, and I'm gonna do it really really quick because it's free. But Halo, brilliant pieces of
Yes.
music in that game,
Yes, yes.
absolutely amazing, and I got to play a gong, so no complaints over here. Mass Effect really stands out for me on the music, written by Jack Walls. Mass Effect 3, okay, that music was alright, but 1 and 2 was better under Jack Walls. And Dragon Age has to be the first one written, the music written by Einan Zur. That was fantastic music, especially on the track How to Slay an Ogre. That was, yeah, I absolutely love that piece, and that's my angry music.
Sorry, just to butt in here.
Mm.
Has anyone else seen Dan's messages in the group call bit when he was getting kicked out? It's just what I've got on the side of my screen is add me back in. My Skype is my fucking internet is in the fritz. I move into another room. This is really pissing me off now. And the last one is fucking internet in caps lock.
Dan, can you stop trying to call back in and I'll add you back in? Because every time you call in, all I'm getting for about 5 minutes afterwards is 4 calls just continually ringing in my ear. Because I am watching your disconnect, it's taking a while to send it back through to you.
Yeah, you have to wait until he's fully disconnected. His picture disappears, and then only then you can add him back in. It's quite irritating, really.
Should we do Dan quickly if he's on?
Yeah, Dan, fire away, mate. What are your favourite pieces of music?
Okay, I'll do it quickly because my internet's on the fritz. TV-wise, the most memorable track I've ever heard is from the 1990s Batman animated series. I know it's the same as the 89 Batman film, but I prefer the version from the animated series.
Which one's that one then?
Film-wise, I have
Yeah,
to
that's
get
what I was thinking, Luke.
Dear God.
Carry on, Dan.
Film-wise, I'm going to give it to Indiana Jones.
Nice.
Film-wise, I'm going to give it to Indiana Jones.
Nice.
And game-wise, it's going to be between 2. The track Never Forget from Halo 2, you know, the sad one. And the track... What's the last track to Mass Effect 3 called again?
Oh.
Damn it.
Oh, why don't I know this?
Dun, dun, dun,
I know, I can't remember the
dun,
name.
dun, 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 dun. That one.
But
That was
Suicide
really
Mission was a better
atmospheric.
track. Suicide Mission from Mass Effect 2 was a better track.
No, I prefer that one.
Right, so next to take the hammer.
Why not?
Go on.
In terms of film, one that immediately sticks out is the love theme from The Godfather. When my wife and I got married and I had to sign the register, we actually did so to that rather haunting violin piece, the instantaneously recognisable one. Both of our families are kind of rather large families with colourful characters, and it wasn't too far a stretch, to be honest. So that for that one.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
TV series, there are two that particularly come to mind. So Michael Giacchino's composition for Lost. I thought the music that kind of accompanied the TV series Lost was a character in its own right, and it just made some of the scenes that much more powerful. But as a huge, lifelong, and rather committed X-Files fan, it doesn't matter when I hear that introduction, it sends chills down me.
Creepy.
That's instantaneously noticeable though by anyone, even if you've never ever watched the X-Files. As soon as you hear it, you go, "Okay, that's the X-Files." Dan, I wish your internet had cut out again. Whistling over everything I'm saying.
So yeah, I absolutely love that, and I'm really looking forward to when the new sort of series is released and we can discuss it on here actually.
Yes.
And in terms of games, a lot of the good ones have been mentioned already. So yeah, I love the music from Halo as well. Mass Effect is brilliant, especially for Halo 2. Breaking Benjamin's song "Blow Me Away." I'm a huge Breaking Benjamin fan, so that was nice. I'll add two more into the mix. Hans Zimmer's soundtrack for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was fantastic.
Oh yeah, that is really good. Yeah.
There are some pieces in that are so underrated and they're just beautiful. And I guess my final one, which no matter where I am sticks with me, the introductory song for Deus Ex Human Revolution from Michael
hell
McCann.
yes.
It is beautiful. So yeah, those are mine.
Right. For film-wise, to be fair, both film and TV.
There's an echo again. Sorry to butt in there, Paul. There's an echo.
Dan,
my echo.
Hello.
Hello.
No, okay.
Paul.
That's it sorted now. Yeah.
Okay, I'll start again.
Yeah.
So, funnily enough, my film and TV follow the same theme for songs, anyway. The first one, I would actually have to say, film-wise, it's composed and conducted by John Williams. It was performed by the London Symphony Orchestra, and it's the Superman theme tune.
Yeah, it's an amazing piece of music.
It's just so iconic, and I know that Superman gets a lot of flack, especially within the group, but it was one of the first superhero films I watched growing up, and any time I hear that, who's making the rough noises? Scott?
No.
Sorry, that was me. I was getting my phone charger.
Alright. And it really means a lot. Like, I remember sitting watching Superman in my hands when I was younger, and it was always that theme tune was just brilliant. Eleanor,
I'm not doing anything.
you're moving about.
I'm not. I'm sitting still.
TV-wise, I would say it's now Remy Zero, Save Me, for Smallville. Anybody recognise it?
Yes, I recognise that. I have an idea that I made a TV theme tunes a long time ago.
Can't say I did.
Really enjoyed the song, and when I seen the Let's Talk Topic out, it was like that's the one song that kind of comes to mind. Also, I could also probably say Buffy because I watched it because Sabrina Girl was hot. As I'll say, was hot.
She still is.
Yeah, I think she's still up there with the beautiful women.
Besides, we're not chauvinists. We're not discussing women purely on their looks. She's also a great actress.
Yes, that's true.
In relation to gaming wise, I'll go older than the games that we sort of talked about, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Original soundtrack for Sonic the Hedgehog, and I know that we're all major Microsoft fans, but the start-up sound to PlayStation, the original PlayStation,
Oh,
That's
when
true.
you switch that on,
beautiful.
Yeah.
and just that small sounds, absolutely fantastic.
Oh, is that
The
childhood
PlayStation
memories?
2 had a pretty good on sound as well.
Yeah.
I think PlayStation has got good sounds.
They have to have something worthwhile.
It's true, yeah. I bought a PlayStation. Why? Because it's got a cool on sound.
I've got the Tetris theme stuck in my head now.
So I've got Super Mario stuck in my head. All that's going on in my head is and I'm like, oh, it's got away.
Dan's gone again.
Yeah, Dan's in and out for the past 5 minutes. I keep inviting him and he's gone, and then inviting him, he's gone. Right, so has anyone else got anything to sort of add to this? I think Dan said his piece on this, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
So that's good to wrap then, really. Unless anyone else got anything.
You said all yours, didn't you? Look.
Yeah, I said mine. I jumped the gun.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you did.
Right, we'll call that a wrap. So that's it for this week. It's a big thanks from me, Paul, Eleanor, Steph, Scott, Dan, when he's been around, Now, lucky for you guys, you won't hear my voice for the next roughly 4 weeks, give or take, because I will be going on holiday. So I'm going to leave you all in the capable hands of the rest of the guys, and Paul's going to be doing the editing. He's going to be doing the audio recording and
I
everything else.
apologise in advance.
Yeah, so, if it all goes wrong, let Paul know, and I'll be back in 4 weeks. But generally, yeah, so just enjoy your time with these guys. Something we have discussed is because our members, our casting group, some struggle to get on certain days, so we're going to start doing a rotating cycle. But for now, it's a goodbye from me, and I'll let you guys sign yourselves off.
I'm Steph, and I am saying good night and goodbye.
Good night, Steph.
Don't all jump at once.
On you go, Eleanor.
Thanks very much from all of us at Geeks and Gamers. We hope to hear you next time. This is Eleanor saying goodbye.
And Scott.
Cheerio.
Ta-ta!
Ta-ta.
And good night, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share. And hopefully my stuff won't be as bad.
Oh, can we try making our internet glitchy? Dan, saying good night.
He's ringing in my ear again. I told him don't call me.
Yeah, there we
get
go.
to call
That was
you and then
Dan
get
saying
to
good
say
night.
Also, don't forget to check our new blog post.
And Twitter.
Yes. Okay, cool.
So yeah, as Eleanor said, don't forget to check out the new blog that we've just started up. It's Geeks and Gamers, INTL for international, .blogspot.com.
.co.uk.
It'll be down in the description anyway, so just go and check it out. Obviously, don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us all on Twitter, and also the Geeks and Gamers official Twitter account. Share your thoughts and views in the comments below. Let us know where we've gone well. Let us know where we could go better. I'll check them all in 4 weeks.
And then shout at us how you want our spoilers given
Yes,
out.
and then I will start screaming when I get back. But yeah, so all in all, thanks again for coming, and it's a very good bye from Dan. Final little footnote. Paul, I believe you have something to say to Grady.
Yes. Hi, Grady. I'm very, very sorry about calling you 3 hours into your sleep after your night shift. I forgot you were on the group tag, and I'll make sure that next week you're actually a part of the group.
You dick.
I feel so
What's
bad.
being discussed?
Hi, Dan again.
We've all said goodbye.
We're saying goodbye.
I was giving my
Oh.
apology to Grady.
Sorry.
Dan, do you want to say your goodbye then?
My internet's fucking up, guys, so I'm sorry about the, massive screw up this week, and I'll try and fix it for next week. It's just that all my little brothers and everyone are on it, and they wouldn't get their asses off. So, yeah, had to deal with it. I'll see you guys next week.